Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bleav in San Diego Baseball, the post-Christmas edition. We still got a New Year's holiday to go, but we figured, we'd sneak an episode right in here between the holidays. My name is Alex Miniak, the host of this fine podcast, as well as the voice of Petco Park, alongside my co-host, the three-time All-Star. He is Heath Bell. Heath, you look rested, relaxed, your hair's a mess. It looks like you've just been settling in at home and having yourself a good holiday.
Well, I'm enjoying myself. I'm actually, the gingerbread homes, I have 18 of them that I have to, I got to make icing today and tomorrow for the New Year's gingerbread contest. So basically, I don't have to decorate them, but I have to put them together. And yesterday I was just building gingerbread, like baking it and stuff. And my son, both my boys wanted to do a castle. So I don't have a tin for that. So I was actually had to, carve them in and this and that. And we'll see what it's going to look like. And I'll send you some pictures.
So a castle, we talking like multi-level? We talking the wall, the moats?
They just want to do basically a 4x4 with a drawbridge. I asked, do you want to do round? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And because they're going to build it, I just have to do the gingerbread. And
okay.
They were like, how about just the simple one?
I was like, once they figured out they had to do the work, yeah.
I was like, yeah, you guys got to do the work. I'll bake it for you, but then you guys got to put it together and decorate it. I'm not part of the decoration. I'm part of the judging.
That's right. You got to be impartial. Now, if you did do a moat on a gingerbread house, what would you use? Probably like blue Jello, right? You probably could do something like
blue
that.
Jello or the blue dust. I gave them the blue dust, the sugar dust for it. I would personally do Jello, but the thing is, you have to. What are you going to border the Jello not to go?
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. I said Jello at first, and then I was thinking, no, they have no idea what they're doing. So I was like, what about the blue dust?
And to set, the Jello has to be hot, so then you risk the melting of the gingerbread walls, I'm sure.
Well, you could honestly put it in the freezer, and you don't have to do it hot. You can do the instant.
Okay. So. Got it. Okay. I haven't had Jello in a really long time. I haven't made Jello in an even longer time. So that just shows how long I've been out of the Jello game. So you've been working hard. I've actually been working hard as well. I got back on the 23rd. I was in Orlando for the G League Winter Showcase. This is an NBA event where the NBA flies in all 31 G League teams, and they play 32 games over 4 days on 2 courts. Basically, it's for any scouts, agents, general managers, anybody in the personnel kind of game to check these guys out. And it's a really cool, it's a showcase. It's called a showcase. It's a showcase of talent. And I work a lot of times in the college game doing college tournaments or home games with USD. And it's interesting to see how many guys I recognize in the G League from my days doing college basketball and seeing them playing games. And it's kind of cool to see them still working at it. And it also shows you how hard it is to play at the highest level.
Did you see anybody that you're like, he's going to be the next guy in the NBA or blah, 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 or he has a chance?
You see some guys that are working hard. You think of a guy like Mac McClung, who's still in the G League. He's with Windy City now, the Bulls affiliate. This guy is a multi-time slam dunk champion in the NBA All-Star game, yet he can't find an everyday role in the NBA. And you wonder, like, man, he's like the quadruple A guy, if there were such a thing in the NBA. He just kind of gets in, but doesn't have enough to stick entirely. And so you watch these kind of guys, and then you have a guy like Victor Oladipo, who played in the league for a long time, who's attempting a comeback through the G League. And then you've got a guy like Janai Broom, who was, I believe, SEC Player of the Year last year, and he's in the G League. And the SEC is very competitive at basketball. So you see different facets, guys that are really, really trying to hang on. You see guys that are making a comeback, and you see guys that are huge talents that just need a shot or a roster spot to open up because they were drafted and they're just down there working on their skills.
Can they make a decent living in the G League or no?
I have no idea. For as much as I've seen these, I've done this event for 2 years, but obviously there's been guys in the G League that have been there longer. So I got to imagine it's worth it to some degree because
Well, I
a
mean,
lot
it's
of
paying their
guys,
bills.
yeah, and if you're going to play professionally and you're not going to hack it in the NBA, which again, it's very hard. You only have 15 guys on a roster or whatever. You generally go to Europe or you play overseas, Asia, and that's where you make your living. I mean, there's guys that played on Walter Hodge is a guy who played on the 2006-2007 Florida Gator national basketball team, and he's still playing professionally in Beirut at age 39. So these guys, they keep going.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Just, I mean, hey, if you're getting paid, I mean, even if it's maybe they're getting paid, 60 to maybe $100,000 or something, and that's probably better than working.
Yeah, they're
As
doing their
long as
thing, and you know what?
you just budget it.
You budget it, and you never know who's going to be out there, and that's what's the cool part about this event, right? Is that you don't know really who's sitting in the crowd taking notes at these
Yep.
things. So something could happen for them. We're talking about roster moves here. We got an early Christmas from the Padres. I texted you about this, re-signing Michael King. I always thought, and you always thought too, that there could be a chance that Michael comes back. He was always a good fit here in San Diego. He got the chance to be a rotation guy here in San Diego. He got a bit unlucky last year being hurt. So maybe he gets a chance to come back and reestablish some value, and that's exactly what he did. 3-year contract. He gets opt-outs after the first 2 seasons. Next year, he'll have a $5 million salary combined with a $12 million signing bonus. He'll have an option for $28 million in 2027 and a $30 million option for 2028. We need pitching. We love the guy. Fans love him. He has a chance to reestablish value. It sounds like a win-win across the board.
Yeah, I think he checked the open market, and his status wasn't exactly where we know it could be or where he thinks it could be, just because of his injury or whatnot. And I think the best bet what he did, and I think the contract is a friendly contract. It's mostly loaded in the back end, where if he has a stellar year this year, we hope he does, and he's one of our aces, he could go on the open market after 26. So it's I think it's a good deal for him. It's a good deal for the Padres, and I'm glad to see him back because that's one less starter you have to worry about, really.
Yeah. You hope he's going to be fully healthy too, and
I think he'd be healthy. Him and Musgrove, Musgrove's got to get a little, bumps and bruises after an injury. You just kind of, your first couple outings, you want to do too much, kind of get build up. So having King back and Musgrove is big, and then Nick. So now you got 3 good solid starters, and somebody else could pop up and do really well, and then you're not worried about the starting rotation, or maybe you're just worried about the 5th guy.
yeah. I mean, you have Randy Vasquez, who was
Yeah,
solid.
Vasquez too.
Got a lot out of him that we were not expecting to get out of a 4th or 5th guy. So things are starting to look up in the rotation, which is great. I think the thing to worry about next, I wouldn't even say worry, it's just an area to focus on, is building the depth out, because inevitably you're going to get some injuries and tired arms through the course of 162 games. So,
Well, you got Sears that could, then you got
Waldron.
Waldron. I think there's some depth. I'd like a little bit more, but we just have to wait and see. I mean, spring training is still 2 months away.
Yeah, well, feels like 6 weeks at this point.
Yeah,
we're moving in on it fast.
It's next year. It's not
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
way off next year.
Way off.
We're talking about depth. We signed a guy named Sung Moon Song. I think that's how you say it. If not, I'll be finding out soon enough, because I'll have to say it on a regular basis. 4 years, $15 million. He has an opt-out in 2028. This is a 29-year-old guy, primarily a corner infielder in the KBO. Looks like a solid value pickup. This guy's bat got hot over the last couple years. He hit 340 in 2024, and then in 2025, he had 26 homers, and he's also kind of fast. He had 25 steals to go with the 26 homers, so could be a nice depth piece, or maybe you look at him as maybe a first or second base candidate as well.
Yeah, I think they're trying to replace Rise. If he can hit 300, that'd be really nice. Hit a couple home runs, steal some bags. Seems like a great guy off the bench to give some guys some rest, like Machado or whatnot, or even play first base. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he equates. I hope he does really well here, and trust me, I'll be rooting for him.
Yeah, I think it's a solid value, and I don't see any downside to it really. 4 years, $15 million this day and age is not a lot to invest in a player. I think it's similar to what we paid Jose Iglesias last year to sort of fill the same role, and you're going to get a guy who's 6 or 7 years younger to do it. I think it's a win-win.
I think it's really good on both sides. He can get to come over here and have a chance, see what he can do. They're not spending a huge amount of money, and I think he's going to turn out to be a good player.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we're finding some good value here. Again, we get one back in our fold. We add a nice depth piece as well, and I'm excited to see after the new year what new gifts we shall unwrap on our way towards spring training. Well, coming up here on Bleav in San Diego Baseball, we're going to take a quick break, but we've got our Padres junk wax gem of the week. Yes, we unboxed another $1.99 gem, actually $1.99 if we're lucky. Gem, and we'll see how much it's worth. Also, remember to follow us. Yeah, we're still going strong here in the off season. Follow Bleav in San Diego Baseball and wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart. We're there. We're ready. We're waiting for you. Tell your friends as well. And you know what? In a couple minutes, we'll be back with more Bleav in San Diego Baseball. Welcome back to Bleav in San Diego Baseball, the podcast. My name is Alex Miniak. That is Heath Bell on my other side over there. And Heath is ready for the New Year's celebration. He's got himself his Happy New Year dunce cap, I guess is what you would call that. Put that man in the corner. Bad boy. Bad boy.
Well, the junk wax error really quick is I got Terry Kennedy, but it's not a Padre at the moment.
No, it's a Cardinal, Terry Kennedy.
Yeah, so I'm in the corner because I didn't get a true Padre.
What year is that, Terry? That's a Topps, right?
That's a Topps 81.
81 Terry Kennedy in a Cardinal uniform. Not something I'm used to seeing, but then again, I was also 4 years old at the time, so it would not have been something that I would have remembered on my TV screen anyway back then.
We didn't get every baseball team on TV.
No, we didn't
the only
back
way you
then.
watched the Cardinals if they played the Padres or if you were in St. Louis.
Yeah, and if you grew up on the East Coast like me, you never saw any West Coast games. It was 2 days later you found out in the newspaper because one, it finished too late, and two, it took a day to print it. So there's your two.
What's the newspaper?
Yeah, well, it's this thing, and it's this big, and you flip it, and it's as big as the dining room table, and it's got all these sports scores in 2-point type in it. That's what we used to do. I know. And I didn't have cable growing up either, so it was
I didn't have cable either.
Yeah, it's another knock on our childhood right there. But you know what? We did have these Padres junk wax gem. This is a baseball card of Mark Parents. Now, do you remember Mark Parents?
Sorry, Mark, I do not.
Well, I got to tell you, this Mark Parent card is a 1991 Upper Deck. Now, these Upper Deck cards really changed the game. I remember sitting around at lunchtime and looking at these cards because, one, they were glossy. Two, they had some great photography on them. and they were glossy and great photography on both sides. This is back, and actually the picture on the back is a better picture than what's on the front. He's just contemplating life here on the front, and on the back, he's actually reaching for a pop-up.
He's probably on the front. He's like, why didn't I catch that ball?
Or why did I spend 8 years in the minor leagues? Because that's what he did.
Hey, Mark, I spent 8 years. I gotcha.
He was a 4th-round pick of the Padres way back in 1979. Mind you, this is a 1991 card. He spent 8 years in the minors before his debut. He played for the Padres from 1986 to 1990, and then he played with the Rangers, the Orioles, the Cubs, the Pirates, the Tigers, and the Phillies, and sometimes more than once. In 13 seasons, though, he hung on. So those 8 years in the minors really did him so good. 13 seasons of big league ball, 474 games, over 1,300 at-bats, 279 hits, 168 RBI, and 53 home runs. So over this 13 seasons, he was able to contribute in some key situations. And he said, I'm not done. He went on to manage in the minors with the Lancaster Jethawks of the California League, the Lakewood Blue Claws, the Reading Phillies in 2010. I would have run into him then because I was in the Eastern League at that time working as well, and the Arkansas Travelers. And he even made it back to the big leagues as a bench coach under Robin Ventura for the White Sox in 2011. So his career came full circle. He started out in the minors, was there for a long time, goes and has a good big league career, goes back to the minors again, manages for a while, comes back, and he's a major league bench coach. That's a cool career arc.
He's just he's a true baseball, guy. That's
Lifer.
He's a lifer. He's a baseball lifer. He just was around the game all, pretty much his whole life, and probably misses it right now. But, he spent probably more life playing baseball than outside of baseball.
Yeah. I mean, and we were talking about with the G League guys earlier on in the episode that some of these guys, they play in the G League. Maybe they don't make it to the NBA. They go to Europe, and they're playing until they're 39, 40 years old because they love it. They're lifers, and they can't give it up.
Yep. So, but it's good. It's good to have guys and good stories like that, just to see guys, all around the league. And I think a lot of guys nowadays don't realize most of their coaches had a good career and played in the minors and knows how to do this and that, because a lot of coaches now are from college or didn't play pro ball. And, it's great to, have somebody like that. I've had some coaches in the minor leagues that kind of helped me get to the big leagues. Just some of the things they said when they played. Like Tim Foley, longtime shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. My rookie year, he was the one that really told the Mets organization, I think this guy has a future. I think he has a chance. Let's try to stick with him for another year. And that was in rookie ball, and I broke some records the next year, and all of a sudden people started noticing me. And if Tim Foley hadn't have stuck his neck out for me, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. You definitely need allies in your corner, that's for sure. And if you look at Parent's story just by the stats and his accomplishments, that is not only a story of perseverance, but it's one of reinvention as well. He became as successful the second time around as he was the first time around.
Yep. Just a hard-working man, great baseball, life. So,
well, taking a look at his value here on our Sports
Sorry
Cards
that I
Pro.
don't remember you.
Yeah. Well, you didn't throw to the guy, so I don't necessarily expect
that's
it.
True. I mean, especially if you played in American League, there's a lot of guys I'm like, I don't remember you, because when I first started playing, we didn't really play the American League, and then we started. Right. You only played like one division.
Yeah.
Once, so you'd be there for 3 days. And he's like, see ya. And if I didn't face you or talk to you, it was like totally forgot about you.
Yeah. Well, collectors have kind of forgotten about this card, too, because it's worth a cool 94 cents. It's now our lowest valued card here on the show. But, hey, somebody had to be lowest, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got to get with PSA or something, and then after halfway through the season, we'll get them all graded. See what they actually go for.
We should do a GoFundMe for grading cards because, like you said, it takes $20 to grade one. And then, hey, whatever's left that we make back, then we can distribute. Or we'll be in the hole and we'll say thank you very much for your donation.
I think we're going to be in the hole and we'll say thank you. But hey, you never know.
It's always a fun story. See, what we don't get in value, we'll always have in a fun story here on the show. You've got the New Year's hat on there. You got any resolutions for this year? Any goal? Let's beyond resolutions. Do you have any goals for 2026?
Have a lot more fun than I had last year. I mean, that's really what it is. I think, I'm gonna get my knees cleaned up. Worked on in a couple months, and but nothing crazy. Just cleaned up, and I'm trying to eat a little healthier. But I've been doing that for the last couple months, so that's not really new. It's just trying to, not go so quick and kind of enjoy life a little bit. That's all. I've got 4 kids, and one's is finishing up his sophomore year of high school, and it's like, man, I only really have 2.5 years left. And I kind of sense, he wants to hang out with his friends and not me anymore. So I'm like, I really got no one anymore. So
you got me. Sorry.
I got you. But it's just kind of, you're just kind of going, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Before you know it, my boy that's 22 is gonna be married and have kids of his own, and it's gonna be like, all right.
Well, then you're grandpa, and it starts all over again.
That's gonna be cool, but like I'm seeing friends that their kids are starting to have kids, and I'm starting to realize, hey, okay,
but that's okay because when you have the grandkids over, you can spoil them, and then you give them back. See, that's the difference.
Hey, my brother says, you should have grandkids before your own kids because they're so much better.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
You get to do all the fun stuff, and you don't have to do the discipline stuff.
Well, if I have a resolution, I mean, having more fun is a great one. I'm always trying to have fun, no matter what it is.
Fun. That's my
no matter what it is, I do. But I would love to make this podcast. This will be a goal of mine to make this podcast the best dang Padres podcast around, and just the most fun Padres podcast around. We're not going to be breaking news or being on the front line of anything, but dang it, when you're done listening, you're going to say, hey, I'm glad I spent 20 minutes with those guys. I think that's a fair goal for this show.
Yeah, we're going to hear some stories. We're going to have some fun time. We're going to talk about what fans actually, think and talk about and this and that. So it's not just going to be the generic, okay, well, this is what they should do, or they should make this trade. And, this is what I hear. It's like, no. Let's talk about Mike. Let's talk about this. Let's talk
about hot dogs.
Let's talk about hot dogs. Let's talk about what beer is good.
Let's talk about worthless baseball cards.
But the thing is, we all got them, and we all know that. We could talk about the ones that are worth a couple $100, but it's like everybody's going to go, man, I wish I had that. But if you get one, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember I got that in my drawer or something. Oh, I didn't know about that story. I didn't know he did that. I didn't know if he played for here or there. So that's what we're talking about.
And I'm going to have some stories. I'm going to have some stories from the road as well, because this weekend I am headed out for week 1 of the Monster Jam Arena Championship Series East Tour. We're starting in Salt Lake City. So heading up to Utah, hanging with Gravedigger and Thunder Roarus and El Toro Loco and Megalodon, Earthshaker, you name it.
Yeah, Gravedigger is, I think it's kind of my favorite, my young son's favorite. My older boy likes El Toro. Is that
El Toro Loco? Yeah. The Crazy Bull.
Yeah. He really likes that one.
And our driver this year is actually from Whittier. So he's a SoCal guy. Super cool. He loves wrestling. He was hitting me up for tickets to Survivor Series, but I didn't even go. So he's going to be bugging me for wrestling tickets. Well, you know what? I'll come back with at least one story next week to tell everyone from the road. And of course, we hope we have more Junk Wax Gems. We'll have more stories from Junk Wax Gems, and of course, all the latest and greatest in Padres world, and a couple stories from the road as well. So, for the 3-time All-Star, he is Heath Bell. My name is Alex Miniak, and we will catch you next week in the new year. on
Happy New
Bleav.
Year's, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year from Bleav in San Diego baseball.